From Hollywood, California, welcome to Reza Riffs with your host, Keith Reza.
Hey, Rifters, welcome to the show. Subscribe, rate, review, tell a friend. It's going to be fun. There is no update about Alan Lee. We're going to change the opening to take his name out of it. So yeah, and Victor Pacheco will not be here today. I have a great guest today. He's an actor and a musician. You've seen him in the movie Teen Wolf 2, General Hospitals. He guest starred on Criminal Minds and Medium. He now is a musician, and he's the star of the Neil Diamond Experience. So good. And we're going to talk about that. But from what I got from it is it's a Neil Diamond tribute band, and it's called So Good, which is named after a Neil Diamond song. Yeah. Excuse the voice. I have a little cold today. But the like the sailors say, the show must go on, right? And my guest Robert Neary is in the Zoom right now. We're gonna let him in the Zoom. Hey, Robert.
Hey, is that Keith?
Yeah, hey man, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. It's good to meet you, buddy.
Nice to see you. Thank you for doing this.
Of course. So, yeah, before we start, have you ever like go on the Google and you see like little articles and you're like, hey, 10 signs or whatever, so you click on it and you read it and you're like, holy fuck, I have 7 of these signs. You know what I mean? I don't know. So like I guess I found out like I don't know. So it's just like it just freaked me out because it's like holy Lord. But then you think maybe they wrote it from themselves, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Ah,
Has nothing to do with anything. I was just wondering if I'm in a lone
it's
wolf
just
or
for you. If you're the only
oh,
one who does that now.
okay. So Robert, so what's up, man? So you're the star of this Neil Diamond experience. So good. It's a tribute band towards Neil Diamond. So like where
It's
do
an
you
ex it's an
yeah.
experience. Yeah, I'm not only the star, I'm the creator. Yeah.
So how
Uh,
do you like tell me how do you wake up and say, "Hey, I want to do this."
hey, I'm Neil Diamond.
Yeah.
Uh, I've been an actor for 40 years, and within the last 5 years, it's just kind of changed. The business has kind of changed. Here I am, thinking about reinventing myself. And I knew Neil Diamond's always been one of my favorites. I've always been able to, mimic him and sing like him. I've never, put that out there, but I knew he had retired. He had just retired in 2018, and I thought about it and was like, you know what, I'm going to put together something incredible. And I found an incredible band in New York. It just started snowballing. Just
Yeah.
from inception to where it is today, it's just been absolutely incredible. Just the snowball effect. It's just yeah. So I didn't really wake up and decide I'm going to put together a Neil Diamond tribute. I actually okay thought long and hard actually what I'm going to do to recreate myself. So.
So how do you find this band? Like, was there like tryouts or like
No,
what?
it was that's another. I mean, it all just fell into place. I thought about the show. I'm thinking, how am I going to do this? And I didn't have a band. I didn't know really anybody. And we went to my wife and my kids. We went to a big Halloween bash in 2019, and the band was playing. They were a huge cover band in New York, and they played every song perfectly. Every song they did from the 50s, 60s. It just was exactly like the record, and they played Sweet Caroline and they played Cracklin' Rosie. And I just turned to my wife and I said, "This band is so incredible." I said, "Wow, what if I got this band, you know, to be my band?" And I actually put this thing together and it started working. And I look on stage, and the trumpet player is my best friend from junior high, and I lived in California. I hadn't seen him in 25 years.
Oh my
So
God.
I just, yeah. So I talked to him after the show about, would you be interested? And he's like, yeah, sounds great. You got to talk to the owner of the band. And I talked to them, and they loved the idea. And we started practicing and getting together. And now it's, they still do their thing, but they're with me now, and we're touring all over the United States. It's incredible.
Do you think like are you a type of person who believes in signs or whatever? Because I feel like that's a sign.
A sign?
Yeah. Because
Oh,
like he
absolutely.
was your best friend and you know.
Absolutely. I talk about it in my show, and I just, this couldn't have been, I call it the ball of faith. I just like, there's, my wife and I had always said that there's something that's going to be out there, because I was an actor for so long, and I did this and I did that, but there was never that pinnacle, never that pinnacle. And I just, she's like, there's something that only you can do, and it's just going to be great. And here it is. And every single step since when I met him, and just it's just been yeah, there's been
Yeah.
no stumbles. It's over 3 years now, and there's been no stumbling blocks. It just continues, definitely.
So I have a question, and you probably get to ask this a lot, but do you know every single Neil Diamond song like just like that?
Not every one, but we do 22, and I know maybe about five, six. No, I know a lot of his songs, but like from head to tail, probably about 30.
Oh,
And
no.
we do 22 in the show.
Well, hey, 30 out of 500 is pretty good, right?
Oh, gosh, I think he's got more than that. My gosh. And it doesn't matter how great the show is, how receptive it is. We'll always get people at the end during the meet and greet. Hey, have you ever done this song? It's just turns out to be one of their favorite Neil Diamond songs that we don't do. And I say, well, I can't do the entire book.
Yeah.
There's
He's
there's always one or two that always, that they'll go, great show, but you didn't do this song. You didn't do this song.
Have you ever thought about like because when you tour, like say like for example, you hit Los Angeles and then the next year when you hit Los Angeles again, have you ever thought about like doing like going by albums or whatever? You know what I mean?
No, but we do have changes in the show. We do insert 3 or 4 different songs in different places.
Oh,
And we add to it. And we've been back to a lot of venues now that haven't seen, like the new show now has a giant multimedia
wait,
presentation.
oh,
What's that?
like what's a multimedia? Like a
The LED screen behind us with, just giant like pictures and video,
oh
to really enhance the show. We travel now with our own sound and lighting girl. The lighting makes everything. I
yeah,
mean, we'll go to some venues and they have outstanding lighting, but when you go see a Broadway show, it's all staged, and you hit those marks. You hit those beats. So when we're able to travel with our lighting designer, that makes all the difference in the world. And again, it's just not it's not the typical tribute band. This is a real experience. You immerse yourself. When my wife comes with me, she dances to "I'm a Believer." We have a girl who sings "You Don't Bring Me Flowers." So it's quite an experience.
so what you're basically saying is if Neil Diamond ain't playing, go see you.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. When I started this, I did a lot of research, not only on his concert, excuse me, not only on his concerts and his albums, and getting his mannerism and just listening to him, but I searched YouTube, I searched on the internet of all these tribute bands, and I was like, I'm a perfectionist. I've been on Broadway, I've done, acting, and I'm just like, these are just guys up there singing his songs. There's got to be more, and I bring that concert experience. Yeah, people continually tell me, "Oh my God, I thought it was Neil Diamond." The mannerisms, the way you talk, the way you sing, and just I don't want to give stuff away, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's incredible. Yeah, if you can't, Neil Diamond is not touring, so
Oh
you
yeah,
come
he's
see
not
me.
touring anymore. Yeah.
No, he's not touring anymore, so you come
Oh,
see me.
Isn't
come
he
see
like
me.
90 years old now?
He's only 83 actually.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
he has Parkinson's and he retired in 2018.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his 50th anniversary of touring, he retired.
Oh, yeah. And then so like you're like Neil Diamond Jr. So
I am Neil
that,
Diamond Jr.
that's cool. Uh, do you remember your first concert that you did and like how scary and nerve-wracking was it, or was it at all?
No, no, it wasn't scary. It wasn't nerve-wracking. I was very excited about it. Um, very first one we did actually wasn't. Um, it was it was during COVID. It was
Okay,
during COVID, so it was coming out of COVID.
right.
It was coming out of COVID. So there was only about 70 people there. What it was for us was an incredible um, stepping point as far as practice. It was a real full-on practice. We had a great time. We really had it down. People loved it. Um, and it was at a really nice, reputable place that a lot of famous people have played. But it was only about, like I said, about 70 people. Excuse me, it was in 2021. And the next place we went to was a little bit bigger, but I don't get nervous. I don't get nervous. This is, you know, this is what I do. So
Yeah. That's the actor in you, right?
that's
Like,
the actor in me.
yeah. Well, I feel like regardless, like, because I've never sung, but I do stand-up comedy. And
Yes.
I remember
Okay.
my first time I did stand-up comedy, I was very, very nervous, even though I did acting. I mean, clearly I'm a bad actor, but I'm actually a great comedian. And I remember that, like, my first time I did stand-up, it was just so, but I fell in love with it. You know what I mean? So I guess that's what I was trying to ask you.
I think the difference in first of all, when you're doing stand up, it's hit or miss. So,
Yeah.
you definitely have that going through your head. Is this joke gonna land? Are they gonna
Uh,
like this? It landed in the last place, but it didn't land here, that kind of thing. And the other difference, of course, is people are coming to hear Neil Diamond's music.
yeah. I was
And
gonna say
I
that.
know, yeah, and I know without a doubt 100% that I give them what they're coming for, you
Yeah.
know. And for you, for stand-up comics, it's like, oh, I wonder if this guy's funny,
Yeah.
you know. For me, when I go to see a comedian, like if I do a special guest on a cruise ship, and they hire me and there's comedians there, I'll always go. But if they don't make me laugh within like 2-3 minutes, I'm gone.
Yeah.
I'm
You go
I'm out of
listen to
there.
some Neil Diamond, right?
What's that?
I said you go listen to some Neil Diamond, right?
I'll go listen. I'll go listen to Neil Diamond's not gonna. I'm not gonna turn away from that. And
Um,
that's it. Yeah.
I was gonna ask, have you ever met Neil Diamond?
You know what? Yes, I have, and it's a great story. I parked this car. I was in 1995. I was in Nashville doing some music. I ran a valet at one of the most reputable and popular restaurants in Nashville, and it was later in the evening, and his car pulled up, and he was in it was him and his manager. He was in the passenger seat and opened up the door. I said, "Wow, you're Neil Diamond." And he shook my hand. We talked for a little bit. I got his autograph, but back then there were no camera phones, so I didn't get a picture with him.
Yeah.
But that's my meaning of Neil Diamond's story. However, I was in touch with him through his wife when I was putting this together during the pandemic, and I got their blessing. So he knows about my show, and I'm hoping that he doesn't travel much. So I'm hoping when we go back to California, that he does get to see the show soon. But I have the film coming out, so he'll be able to see it.
Wait, there's a
So
film?
there's a film of my show. There's a film of my show. We recorded it in front of 10,000 people last year.
Oh my
In
God, I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. Huge amphitheater in New York, and it was filmed 5 cameras, 10, and we just got it remastered. We just get mastered the audio. It's all ready to go. We're just waiting on Universal for the contracts for the rights for the songs and everything, but it's going to be released on Amazon Prime.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
yeah, so that is it's a
Congratulations.
doc. Yeah, thank you. It's a documentary. It's kind of like a documentary, but it's the full concert, but it's got inserts of me and the band and how it came about, everything. So documentary film, and it's pretty incredible. Yeah. I'm very happy with it. It's also going to be released as a CD as well.
Oh.
So,
How cool would it be if it like is bigger than Taylor Swift's thing that just came out? You know what I mean?
well, I'll tell you what, it is bigger in the minds of every single person who sees my show because they have no idea who Taylor Swift is. Yeah, my average age is 50 to 70, so they have no idea who she is.
That's a great answer, man.
Or they'll say, "No, I've never heard of him. You a rock and roller?"
Uh, so you met Neil Diamond by parking his car. So
Yeah,
that's like a great story too.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That was fun. Like I said, I got his autograph. I don't know where it is, but I do remember. I do remember getting an autograph. I waited for him. I waited for him after he was done eating, and they came out, talked to him again for a little while, and I asked him what he was doing there, and he said he was recording an album. He was doing Tennessee Moon was the album he was recording there,
Uh,
and signed my autograph, and that was it. And of course, at the time I was doing music, I was in between acting, and but
yeah,
I didn't go into any jazz singer or impersonation. I just talked to him as a peer.
yeah.
Hey, by the way, Neil, hello again. Hey, you sound very good.
Oh man, how cool would it be is when you go back to Los Angeles and he shows up and he's like the special guest, right? And he just sings a song with you. How cool would that
Oh
be?
my God. No, that would, are you kidding me?
I'm
How
dead
cool would that
serious.
be? You started that sentence with how cool would that be?
That would be like
There's nothing
heaven,
cooler.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
there would be nothing cooler.
yeah.
There would be nothing cooler.
I interviewed did you ever see this movie called Saving Silverman?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So
Me and the band, the guys in the band, we constantly text each other clips from that film.
the diamonds in the rough, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, so I interviewed Amanda Detmer, who played like the sweet girlfriend or whatever. And in the movie,
Okay.
they and she told me this story. So this is her story.
She
Uh,
was the one in the van who kidnapped him.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Okay.
in the hooker gear, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And she told me that like he's the sweetest guy. He said that he sent her a guitar and he signed it to her. And
Wow.
she said like while they were filming that scene, she was really thirsty and they drove by a 7-Eleven. And she's like, Neil Diamond, I know this is kind of weird, but as you can tell, I'm dressed as a hooker. I don't have my wallet and I'm very thirsty. Can we go get me some water? And he did. So they went to the 7-Eleven, right? And then she bought the water, right? And then she said, the 7-Eleven guy said, holy shit, you're Neil Diamond. And Neil Diamond's like, yeah. And then he's like, you like hookers.
I was gonna say, well, which would be worse, a hooker walking in or Neil Diamond walking into your 7-Eleven? I mean,
I know.
the guy's probably gonna take notice of Neil Diamond walking rather than a hooker. So you like hookers.
But I thought that that was just so funny, and but yeah, that's the only Neil Diamond story I got for you, but I thought it would make you laugh, so I thought I'd share it.
Well, I laughed, yes.
Oh, hey, do you mind if I ask you a couple acting questions?
No, not at all.
Okay, so you were on Medium, which is one of my favorite shows, and I want to know what was that experience like because like everyone on that show is like fantastic.
They were fantastic. I was the first time I worked with Arquette, and she actually was pregnant at the time, so they had to write around her. She wasn't feeling very well that week. They actually wrote around her, so I didn't have too many scenes with her. But the girl who played opposite me, the other guest star was Elizabeth Moss,
Oh my
and
God,
that was like, yeah, that was one of her first like
big things.
like guest star gigs, and I of course I all play bad guys. 90% of my roles were bad guys, and she was my girlfriend, and she double crossed me about with all these diamonds that we stole, and I gagged her and put her in a freezer and froze her, with water and everything. And it was funny because it was, and again, yeah, great sets. I've had great times on all the sets, and this was no different. But Elizabeth and I get to know each other, and she was just starting out. And I remember, and she said to me, we, as actors, we talk, what's the next thing coming up? And she goes, well, I just got this pilot that shoots in New York. I'm not sure if I'm going to go. It's called Mad Men. It's
Yeah,
about this 60s stuff. And of course, that made her career.
exactly.
And she's like, I don't know if I'm gonna go. I don't know if I want to go to New York.
You know what the cool funny thing about that story is, it all connects too, because you were still in the Diamonds and now you're in a Neil Diamond band.
You caught that.
Yeah. It's the 6 degrees of Neil Diamond, I guess. And
And
then
I didn't know, I don't know if you remember that episode, but I didn't know where she hid the diamonds.
yeah.
So I tortured her and froze her, and turns out that she ate them.
Oh
And
my,
and then when they found her in the freezer, they did the autopsy and they found the diamonds in
oh yeah, that's my favorite actor, Jake Weber, was like the star of that show opposite Patricia Arquette. Like
it. Was that, oh, really? Oh, okay.
he played her husband.
Oh, he played her husband. Yeah.
Yeah, and here's the reason why I like the underground actors, because uh Jake, he did this movie called Dawn of the Dead, which should have made him a star. Like, he was the main guy, and he
The
chose
original?
no,
Second on it.
it was the remake, yeah.
Remake. Okay.
And then he picked Medium over like other movies and stuff. And I remember when I interviewed him, he just said, I just want to be Jake Weber. So like that, I thought was like the coolest answer, because for every actor, it's not about being a movie star. It's just being about finding work that speaks to you.
Well, it ran for 7 seasons, so I think 6 or 7 seasons. So he made a good decision.
Yeah, yeah. But but I mean, I'm just like, that's what I was just saying about like how struggling actors, like, when you get that hit, it doesn't necessarily mean about keep doing success. It's just about keeping work that flows. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
And then I
You,
wanted to add,
you never know when your next gig is going to come.
oh yeah, definitely. And
Mm.
like, that's the scariest part, you know. And
Mm.
I wanted to ask you about that. Like, now that you're doing the Neil Diamond thing, are you still acting, or are you only doing offers only?
I absolutely, you're exactly right. I do the offers only. I told my agent, I'm not auditioning anymore.
Yeah.
I've been out there so many times. People know my history. Uh, I don't audition anymore unless I'm home and it's worth it. But case in point, like I was out I was out on a tour, and my manager called and said, "Are you available this so and so Tuesday?" It was a week after, and she said, "The Blacklist wants to see you." Oh, the
Oh,
Blacklist wants you, is what? Yeah, the one Blacklist wants you. I'd been into the Blacklist at least 16, 17 times,
yeah.
and I told her, I said, "I'm not auditioning." She goes, "No, no, 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 no. They're going to give you the guest star role. They want you." And I was actually the blacklister in the final season last year. And so I said, yeah, I get off on Monday, whatever it was. And I said, she goes, great, because they want you there on Wednesday. And but yeah, I'm so busy now, and I'm very, very comfortable doing my own thing. I'm my own boss.
Yeah.
And I'm booked all the way to 2026. I'm booked all the way to January 2026. And
Whoa!
yeah,
Congratulations, man.
yeah, with more dates coming up. We just got another date today. Yeah, it's rocking. And my agents dumped me because they said, but I still have a manager. And they said, well, we can't do this. And if you're going to be out there. And I said, well, this is my thing, and the people want me. I said, I'm tired of going on auditions now and getting rejected. I
Yeah.
had a good career. Now all of a sudden the business has changed and nobody wants it. Nobody wants me.
Yeah.
I'm in my 50s.
Oh,
I'm done.
yeah. Well, I agree with you to an extent, but I also disagree, because I think everybody wants everybody some way. You know what I mean?
True, 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 true. I mean, I think all the way the acting has gone with the entertainment, with trying to fill voids, with diversity and everything like that. there's a place for it, and then there's like I got, and I tell this, and I have no problem speaking about it. I have no problem with hiring diversity, of course.
Yeah.
I've worked, that the problem is, and when people ask me about this, because they literally ask me about this, they'll say, I always see this and this and this. There's no good actors. I said, don't try and fill a void. Hire the right person for the job.
Yeah.
I got,
That's
I'll share
how you
with you,
do it.
I'll share with you, and I don't mind telling this story. I was up for a show. I'm not going to say what show it was. I killed it, and I get the audition, and it was an ICE agent. I played this role before in The Closer. The breakdown's authoritative. My name was a man's name, this and that. I'm authoritative. I do my scenes. I got put on hold. I didn't get the job. I watched the episode when it came out to see what happened. I kid you not. That person turned to a 4'11" Latino woman.
Yeah. Wow.
And like I said, I'm just like, wait a minute. I am not believing that this person is an authoritative ICE agent who has to storm in to gather illegals. I
Right.
just don't
Yeah.
believe it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not controversial. I just, I speak a lot about it, a lot,
Yeah.
it's just
Sometimes it's
it's
good to
just
be controversial though. So I like that. Where it's like, you know what I mean?
whoops, sorry.
Oh, I see your name. Oh, hey
There you go.
Robert. Oh, excellent. Ah,
No, yeah, sometimes it's good to be controversial, but I don't speak politics. I don't speak anything. But when people ask me specifically, like certain things, like why aren't you acting? And I said, well, it's not my choice.
yeah.
It's really not my choice. This is the way the business is now. And so I had to reinvent myself. I had to do something. I'm not gonna go back to bartending. I'm more successful now, like I said, as my own boss, as my own creator, as doing all this stuff by myself. They actually, the Broadway show, the Neil Diamond Broadway show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
They
I
want you
got
to
an
do
email.
it.
Well, I got an email from casting, and they asked me to come in and audition for
Yeah.
the understudy. And
Oh my God.
I'm like, thank you very much. I make my living as Neil Diamond.
Yeah.
Good luck with your show.
Yeah.
And they're closed, they're closing, and I'm just booking more and more and more. So
Did you email them and say, but I'll take your understudy? Yeah. But no, you're absolutely right. And like I said, like, you were talking about how like when your agents dropped you and stuff, I don't think that that's a bad thing because in this business, and I'm not really much of an actor. I make all my living from stand-up comedy, but I do try and act. I do know, just because I'm friends with a lot of celebrities, that agents will always come back when something happens. So it's not really the end of the world.
yeah, well, I have a manager who still believes in me, and you know um they they set me up. I can't do Broadway anymore because I can't. I told her, I said I can do guest stars, TV, stuff like that when I'm around, but they sent me an offer for an off-Broadway show, actually, that
Yeah.
she was producing, my manager was producing. And who got the role after I turned it down was Joe Pantaleone.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, but I was offered that role. It
Yeah.
was I forget the name, Mr. something. It was the story of Phillips, the DJ who found Elvis, and what's his name? What's that DJ's name?
I
It was
don't
Rock and Roll Man. Rock and Roll Man was the name of the
rock and roll.
Rock and Roll Man was the name of the off-Broadway show.
Yeah.
And my manager produced it, and they actually offered me the role of not of Phillips. That went to Constantine Margulies, and this was the second lead. And I can't do it. I'm traveling all over the place. I got gigs all over. And
Yeah.
then I saw that Joe Pantaleone had gotten the role, given the role.
It's funny that you mentioned Elvis because I didn't want to tell you this, but like I'm
You knew?
so no, I'm so out of the loop about Elvis. I didn't know who Elvis was until the movie came out. Like I always
You,
thought I always thought Elvis was the king, because like everyone would be like the king. I'd be like, yeah, who names their kid the king? That's pretty cool. And then Elvis comes out. I was like, it's the same guy. Um,
I was gonna say, what are you hiding him?
maybe, yeah. That's a good point. All right, I have two more questions for you. I want to
Yeah,
respect your,
man.
but I wanted to ask you about Teen Wolf 2.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
like, because it's two, but they spelled it TOO and not TWO. So I wanted to know. It's two.
Well, he's also a teen wolf.
Yeah.
He's also teen wolf. Also, I'm also a teen wolf, and he played it. I don't know if you saw the movie, but it was his cousin,
Yeah.
and that's funny. You were talking earlier about when you do a movie and you think that you're gonna do all this stuff. This is one of my first roles when I moved out to California, and I got the role, and I'm thinking, okay, Teen Wolf was so big. This, Jason Bateman, he's gonna do this. He's from Valerie's family. He's a hot young star. His sister's Justine Bateman. This is gonna be a big movie, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna be a big star. I'm gonna be a big star. And of course, the movie tanked, and
The
it's like
exact opposite.
exact opposite. But it's funny when people find out about that, and thanks to Jason, I still get a very, very nice couple of residual checks every year because he's, so widely popular, people
It's
download the
it's
movie.
like a cult
And
classic now. Yeah.
it is, yeah, it's on Hulu, it's on HBO Max. And when I tell people like they go, no way, no way. I say, yeah, YouTube it. I kicked the crap out of him and then he beats the shit out of me.
Oh my God. But he beat
We
you
had a
up
great
when he
time.
was a wolf, though, right?
What's that?
He beat you up when he was a wolf, right?
No, he didn't fight me as the wolf.
Oh.
The final fight was the two of us, and he decided not to come out as the wolf.
Oh.
And so the first two rounds, I'm beating the crap out of him, and then I'm just about ready to pound him. And he finds his inner strength when he looks at his girlfriend, and that whole slow motion thing, which has got to be the longest slow motion scene in history. He gets up from the canvas, and if you watch it on you, it takes about 10 minutes for him to get up from the canvas in slow motion. It is so slow.
Oh, that's one of the funny things I don't really understand about movies because you're right. Like if someone's getting beat up and they're on the ground, right? Like for example, Rocky, which is probably one of the best movies of all time, right? But he's
Ever.
getting his ass kicked, and then he just has like a quick vision of Adrian, and all of a sudden he's kicking ass. Like it's just so I don't know. I've been in a couple fights, but I've never thought of my significant other and be like, I'm gonna I'm gonna win now.
I'm gonna get me some poontang as soon as I beat this guy up.
All right, so I got two more questions. Robert, if you could go into a time machine and talk to a younger version of yourself, knowing what you know now, what advice and what would you tell yourself?
Buy several stocks that,
Uh,
that I that have definitely gone crazy. Um, the way where I am now, I can't say I look back on my life and I say everything has happened to be here. But if you had asked me that 5 years ago, I would have said, hey, you know, stick with what you're doing, stick with the acting, stay there, stay with these agents, just concentrate on that because I lived a Hollywood lifestyle. I'd blow off auditions. I had all the nightlife and doing all that stuff. I didn't as successful as I was, I didn't concentrate. I didn't concentrate. Then I decided I was going to do music and I went to Nashville and then I came back and I did the movies again. So, and I never had that A role. I never became that A-lister. I never, I got close. I did a lot of leads and TV pilots, but I never got close. So I would have definitely said, stick with this. This was your dream. You moved to Hollywood when you were 20 years old. You got an agent. You did this. Just stay right there. Stay in that zone. Don't keep moving agents. Don't keep blah blah blah. Don't keep your head focused.
Yeah.
That's exactly because I was on a roll, and I just like I said, I would blow off auditioning because I had a hangover, or I just party too much. I would just be like, and then I'm like, oh, you're at my agent's not doing right. I'll stay with I'll go to another agency, and I didn't stay focused. I didn't stay focused. But I was in my 20s, and it was the 80s in Hollywood. Come on.
Yeah.
But where I am now, I can't say any of that because I'm very successful with this show and what I've put together, and happy with an incredible wife and family, and that is all, that's all totally led up to where it is. Because I look back and I go, I wouldn't be here, like where I am now. I was up for the lead, for the role of Hank in Breaking Bad.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, and Norris did an incredible job. Norris did an incredible job. He was incredible.
Yeah.
But that's one of the big ones I was up for. And they hired him. I played a cop many times, but they didn't want, the good looking, you know, man cop. They wanted this, this burly type, working class cop who's just perfect for it.
Yeah.
But that would have changed everything. That would have changed everything too. Certain little things would have changed everything.
Yeah.
I'm very happy where I am. But yeah, I couldn't say that to myself now. But 5 years ago, I definitely would have said
If you would have got Breaking Bad, I mean, I'd be honored to be your best friend. I'd be like, yeah.
it. One of my favorite shows.
Oh, dude, I think that's a perfect show. I
It's
I I
fantastic.
I heard John Cusack was supposed to play Walter White,
Oh
and
no, I didn't know that.
yeah, and Cusack's one of my favorites, but I was like, if he would have got that, I think Breaking Bad wouldn't have been as magical. You know what I mean?
I, yeah, because you can't see John Cusack as that bad boy.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
mean,
instead of
he
selling
was.
meth, he'd be like boomboxing. But I'm so glad you said that answer though about the time machine thing, because I for a second I thought you said, listen, when Jason Bateman's on the ground, keep punching him. Don't let him get up.
Don't let him give you that haymaker. Do not let him. Don't let him look at. Do not let him look at his girlfriend.
And then my last question is, where can the folks at home follow and support you at?
Oh man, yeah. So myself, Robert Neary, but So Good, the Neil Diamond Experience, and you can Google that, and it comes right up. It's Facebook, So Good, the Neil Diamond Experience, Facebook, YouTube channel, So Good, the Neil Diamond Experience, and the website, So Good, the Neil Diamond Experience.com, and Robert Neary, R
Yeah.
Neary 16, all over social media. And it's funny when I talk about the show in the second act, I'll say I talk about how the show came about, and I start off by saying, "Thank you for coming out." I'm an actor. I've been an actor for almost 40 years, and I guarantee you've seen at least one or two times of me on TV because I've done a lot of TV shows. And if you Google my name, I come right to the top of the Google search. And
Yeah.
they all laugh. And I say, how many people have ever said that to you that I always get a laugh reaction? It's,
Laugh reactions are always good.
yeah, I mean, like you go, and then they Google my name
Uh,
and they go, wow, you've done all these TV shows. I said, I told you.
you should say, I also did Teen Wolf 2.
At Teen Wolf too. And then they go,
Uh,
oh, I remember that. Now I gotta watch it. Now I gotta watch it
uh,
again.
are you on Cameo? Because I think you would be great on Cameo.
Oh, I don't do cameo. It's
Uh,
funny you mentioned Teen Wolf 2. Also, Mark Holton. Mark Holton, you just when you first came on camera, looked like
oh,
Mark Holton a little bit.
oh, really? Oh, nice. Sweet. I always get
We
the kid from Two and a Half Men or Jeffrey Dahmer. I don't know.
oh gosh, Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah,
Two and a half men. Yeah,
yeah.
2.5 men. Yeah, this is who I am now. If you had red hair, you'd be the kid from the Sandlot.
Oh my God, yeah, that would be awesome. I would offer you a s'more. Uh, well, Robert, it was good to meet you, man, and
Yeah, man.
thanks for being my best friend for 30 minutes, buddy.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Where can I hear this or see it?
I'll release it first week in June. I got a
Cool.
couple other things I have to release first because their movies are coming out. But
Okay,
June I'll
cool.
get it out, and I'll tag you and all that stuff, and we'll get it out.
Yeah. Oh, and you're in Are you in Houston? Where are you?
Oh, I'm in Huntington Beach, California. Orange
Oh,
County.
wow.
Yeah.
That's where I started. That's where I started.
Really?
Yeah, that was my first I lived in Long Beach and then Huntington Beach when I first moved out there.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I wish I would have known that. We would have talked about the beaches.
I don't think you were alive when I got out there.
Uh,
I might have known your mom. Did she ask her if she ever went to Red Onion
Red
in
Onion.
Huntington? Red Onion in Huntington Beach.
Should I give her a call? I can be like, hey, have you ever, you know who Red Onion is? He was in Teen Wolf 2.
Oh my God. Did you interview Robert Neary?
All right, Robert. Well, yeah, man. When you're around here, give me a text, and I'll hang out with you, and I'll go do the show, and I'll support you, man.
That'd be great. Thanks so much. This was fun.
All right, Robert. Have a great day, buddy.
Thanks, bud.
All right. All right, guys. That was an interview with Robert Neary. Subscribe, rate, review, tell a friend, and we'll see you guys next week on Reza Riffs. All right. Big music cue.